YouTube, how we doing? Past the prop back here again. We got some basketball to talk about with you guys today. Joined as always by my guy Stu. How we doing, man?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. I mean, a lot of good basketball action right now. Obviously, for college basketball guys like you, it's insane. I mean, it feels like there's basketball 24/7, but got some solid NBA slates as well. I think we got a lot of good bets to talk about. So I'm fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, it's all day, every day type of thing right now. As long as this keeps going, unfortunately, it means you got to get those things out early. So obviously, I already have a couple of plays already out. But hey, we're here, ready to go, and hopefully, you guys are here live with us so we can catch a couple bets with you here. Yeah, we can kind of get to our recap here and talk about that, and get ready to talk this slate.
Yeah, start out with the steel parlay right here. Talk about easy money, guys. I was trying to tell you, both of them went over 3 steals each, I believe. I played 2 steals each for him, like I talked about on the show. So it was awesome, man. Grimes, I mean, the guy just kills it out there. Whenever he plays, he's just going 100. And he's the only guy on the team that cares, too. So that was great. And then McBride, anytime I can get McBride at a playable steal number, I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, both these numbers will probably be pretty cooked going forward. But yeah, glad we could jump in. I know it's a little juicy, but nice and easy cash right here.
Yeah, no, I was. It's nice to see. Obviously, paid a little juice, but you know when it's that easy, it's like, man, maybe probably a little bit. I know a lot of people will see that and be like, oh, it's minus 140, but it's like probably would a cash like a minus 200, 250. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's something that easy of a cash, you know, sometimes people will see that and say it's too juicy, but I mean, value is value, man. That was very felt like we were way too easy, like we're almost stealing a little bit on that, grabbing those numbers. So obviously happy to see those become a winner there. And let's go over to mine. Shout out Hunter Dickinson. Dude's 3-0 for me during these last like week and a half. Shout out Dickinson for doing his thing. Obviously crushed it. I know they that UCF team, man, they've been playing on feisty, man. I know they've been a lot of people were thinking they were going to take the L, right? Thinking Kansas might actually lose that game, but like I said, Dickinson didn't really come off the court in the entire second half of that game. Went obviously bonkers in that one. When you see a guy that's just that much bigger, and you kind of saw the freshman. I know I talked about him a little bit on the show. You saw him try to go up against him, dude. It was tough to watch. You know, he was just pretty much doing whatever he wanted. Played 39 minutes in that overtime game. Obviously, they lost last night to Arizona, but I played the same number, same bet at 28.5 because obviously Arizona's a little bit bigger and can kind of size up with them. And he cashed that one as well because he just grabbed a ton of rebounds. But 23 and 13 in 39 minutes in that game, and then comes back and gets it again. So shout out Dickinson. Not a huge fan of him, like watching, but hey, shout out to you cashing for me multiple times over this past week.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part. You don't got to be a fan of these guys to make a little bit of money watching. And yeah, you kind of pointed out it's a grown-ass man going up against a rookie in that matchup. We want to take advantage of it. So yeah, shout out to Dickinson. Yeah, I don't have to like the guy, but he made us a little bit of money.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know many guys that are, more not liked than Dickinson because he's kind of got that, personality on the court. But yeah, it is what it is. Hey, shout out to him for cashing for us, going 2-0 on our straight bets, and obviously you got to cash in on a long shot as well.
Yeah, Bogdanovic nailed the threes right here. I mean, he scored 28 points in this game, and we were still sweating the threes a little bit to the end, which is a little bit scary. But yeah, he crushed this number. I even got a little bit more live on him. It was a great game. Kawhi ended up not playing, which we talked about was kind of like 50-50 at the time. And surprisingly, even after Kawhi went down, the odds only were like 260. They didn't even tank that much. So there was still plenty of opportunity, even if you weren't in here early with us. But yeah, he got the job done. And it was nice to see because, he was kind of sucked this year. And Bogdanovic is good. Like, he's a good, solid role player. But he's actually shot terribly. And I think that scared a lot of people away. But you got to remember the difference between a guy as like the number 2 on a team and like the number 4 on a team. And he was the number 2 in this game. So shout out to him. I cashed in his threes and even Amir Coffey in that game as well. So I love when Kawhi sits, honestly. It opens up a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, no, it was a big number. Obviously, we talked about Zubac getting bet down pretty heavy on the show, and then obviously it all comes back around.
He crushed.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do? That's just unfortunate if you were betting those unders, even though it's probably the best. I mean, if you think he's going to play, that's a hell of a number that you got. But obviously, he decided injury maintenance. There was no questionable, no nothing, just straight out.
Yep.
Makes it a little bit tougher on people betting in that game. So that's why it sucks when we talk about this, but a little bit early. But these are types of lines we can start getting. We can get better lines because we are here before a lot of people are betting on the NBA. So that actually moves us over the 10-unit mark, 29-21 on our straight plays, 10.3 units profit on the show here. Feeling pretty good, obviously, with the college stuff. We're rolling right now on those. So I'm excited to get after it again today. And I will let you pretty much take the reins on this NBA slate. I have not looked at one game. I will not have a bet in the NBA tonight. I got bets going until like 10:30 p.m. tonight. I already got 2 already going, and now we got bets in the NBA. I actually have no idea. So I'm going to pretty much turn it over to you, Stu. Is there a game that you're looking forward to most on this slate?
Yeah, I mean, Wednesday was kind of an awesome slate, like to talk about on the show. Today, not so much. I think Cavs-Grizzlies is going to be my most anticipated game. I think that'll be a fun one. Mitchell out, only a 2.5 spread in that one makes it obviously very close. Even with Mitchell already ruled out, the Grizzlies have sucked recently. Like, if you look, well, I don't want to say sucked because they are winning games, but they're playing every team close. No matter how bad you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how many people are sitting out, it's been like a one-possession game with the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson could be back in the lineup. He's questionable. That'll be a big thing, obviously. But I think that's got to be my most anticipated, just in the sense that it's 2 good teams kind of scrapping. I will warn there's some back-to-backs like the Lakers Nuggets. I know people are going to probably be hyped for that one, but Lakers just played the Bucks last night, and they've got like 4 more games in the next like 6 days or something. They're playing a ton of games. And with all those old guys, I don't know how I feel about it. And obviously no LeBron playing. So it's an interesting slate. I don't think it's a particularly good slate. If you follow me, I'll probably have some more 76ers bets a little closer, some more like Hornets bets, Spurs, some of these uglier teams. But yeah, it's not the best slate in the world.
Yeah, I will definitely take your word for it. These back-to-backs make everything way tougher on us. Like you don't know who's going to get the minutes. If a game gets to 10 points, are they just going to pull everybody? Right. That's the other thing that kind of sucks too. Is like it's really hard to bet overs when you just don't know who they even want to play, who the coaches even want to play in these spots. So, tough spot for pretty much everybody involved, unless obviously like today. We'll be talking a couple unders here for you. So I will kick it over to you, Sue, to start us off. I'll get to my plays in a second, but I'll let you take us away. And you gave us a little bit about the 76ers there. I'll let you start off with that one.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, Andre Drummond is not good at basketball. So that always helps when you're betting unders, right? You don't like betting unders or overs on guy, or you know what I mean? Like you don't like it's always best when you have an inefficient shooter, right? And Drummond's numbers can look better at times because all of his shots like come right at the rim pretty much. And even then, still for how much he shoots at the rim, his efficiency is still pretty shit. When you look at this Sixers team right now, they're a mess. Like they're a full-on mess. And I don't know. It's like if you're betting overs, in my opinion, it should probably only be on guys that are under the age of 25. I think that's the easiest way to say it. So like Jared Butler, Ricky Council the fourth, and Bona. Bona is the other guy. I would love Bona numbers for tonight if they post any, because they just had the funniest game of the year against the Raptors. Like those 2 teams ruled out everyone important. And even their scrubs barely played. Like, it was so funny. They were going to, like, the 14th, 15th guys on the bench. It was just a spectacular game, especially someone that had a bunch of Kelly Oubre and Jakob Poeltl unders and kept adding to it live. Like, it was just awesome. So, going into this game, I was then very surprised to once again see a lot of the same numbers just as high. I feel like they didn't learn their lesson after last game. And I think the one thing that stops me from playing Oubre unders and stuff like that on the show is Grimes is questionable. which obviously is a big deal for that guard room. It just doesn't affect Drummond as much. So I like unders kind of across the board on these veterans or older guys. But honestly, when you think about this logically, you wouldn't even like Drummond in any game against the Pacers. These guys are one of the fastest teams in the league. They have a stretch big, which means there's no one for Drummond to just sit there and like hug in the paint. Like he's going to be forced to run. And if there's one thing you don't want Drummond doing is trying to go out on the perimeter and guard people. Like he has one skill set: rebound, put back, pass the ball. Like that's your job, and when you can't do that in a high-paced game, I just don't see any need for Drummond to play more than 20 minutes in this game. And even last game when he played 25 minutes in that tankathon, he scored 4 points. Like he's consistently playing heavy minutes. This season, when you look at teams that are in the top 15 of pace, Andre Drummond has not scored more than 10 points once this season. Like, I don't know why this line is so high. I think they think Andre Drummond is part of the tank squad, and he's not. And last game was kind of proof of that. And that was without the forward. I forget how to say his name. Yeah, Yazba, whatever. Yabusele. Thank you. I hate saying that guy's name. He actually missed last game, and now he's going to be back in the lineup. He's a guy that they talked about having some minutes restrictions for. They mentioned him and a couple other guys. And then he actually played more minutes than Drummond in that first game back against the Hawks. And then he missed last game, and now he's going to be back in for this game. I just don't see the upside for Drummond at all. Like, Drummond would have to be so efficient in this game. And I get that the Pacers aren't like a good rebounding team, but you got to think about it. They're not a good rebounding team because they're not trying to do that. They're trying to run. And Drummond is not trying to do that. That's not the kind of play style you want at all. So for me, this is pretty easy. I would, like I said, for Sixers right now, you got a couple guys. You got Bona, you got Council, you got Butler. Those are the kind of guys I'd be looking to bet overs on. Anyone else that's above the age of 30, we know what Andre Drummond is, right? We know what he is. This team is tanking right now. He's going to play his 20 minutes. It's going to be, probably 6 points, 10 rebounds in his 20 minutes, and then he's going to sub off, and you're not going to see him again. So, yeah, this is a pretty easy click, and I'm going to keep fading, these kind of players in these kind of situations where you're like a veteran that the team doesn't really need to see any more of. I'd much rather see Bona play for 30 minutes and see what he's got. So love the under right here. And yeah, it's moving a little bit. I mean, 10.5 is available everywhere, but if it gets juicy in some spots, it's like -130, -140. You can do points plus assist at 11.5 for -110 as well. I think that's just as good of a bet. If he has 2 assists in this game, I would be shocked, like absolutely shocked. So if it's getting a little too juicy for you, points assist is a good pivot as well.
Nice. Definitely like having that other option there as well to get you an extra number there. Get you extra because obviously I don't expect too many assists coming from Andre Drummond from the paint there. I will actually be going to another game that I think is going to be kind of I'm going to be taking an under as well. I'm going to be going to the all-reliable Houston Cougars. I'm going to be going to the Houston Cougars defense here. And I'm going to be playing BYU, team total under 64.5 at -115. Feel like this is a great number, dude. You're getting a buy low or buy high or a sell high spot on BYU, who just shot absolutely lights out yesterday. They were over 50% from three. And this team shoots a ton of threes, right? They shoot a ton of threes. I think this could be a very mucky type of game, like a brick fest type of game, one that you probably don't want to watch a ton. But I feel like a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, dang, Houston could get upset here, right? I mean, we just saw BYU go out and they were the lone game, right? They were the ESPN game, first game on the slate. And you just see these dudes putting up 100-something points on Iowa State, who's a good defense, right? But they were pulling up from 5-6 feet behind the line, hitting everything. Everything was going their way. And I do not see it, dude. This is going to be just an absolute meat grinder. Like, they're going to throw you in it and you're screwed, bro. Like, obviously I talk about tempo all the time when I bet overs, but when we want to bet these unders, let's take a look at Houston. They're the number 3 defensive rated team. They are 360 in pace. There's like 364 teams. They are 360 in pace. They're going to slow you down. You can't get anything in the paint. Then you got to shoot threes, right? Yeah. BYU loves to do that. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. I think they are top 20 in the country in terms of 3-point attempts per game. You're still on a neutral court. Yes, I understand they went crazy yesterday, but Houston's top 50 in guarding the 3-point ball. 30.9% on neutral/road court games this year, which is top 50 in the country. You're not scoring in the paint. They do a phenomenal job of guarding without fouling. And now you're going to have this team have to manufacture shots, mid-range shots. You're not scoring in the paint. You're not getting to the free throw line. And you're going to have to rely on them hitting 20 threes again or 15 threes. And I just don't want to do that on a neutral court against the number one, in my opinion, probably the number one defense in the country here. I don't know how their size is going to hold up. We've seen them earlier this year get torched by Houston, and they lost by like 30. They scored 55 points. Houston scored 85. They blew them out of the water. But say that Iowa State BYU game yesterday was like 70-68. This is probably like a 61, 62. But when you see, this team scored 100 points, now I get to bet them in the 60s. Come on now. I think that Publix is going to be trying to get this number, and I'm going to be all over betting this one. If you haven't been watching it a ton, this would be a game you'd want to bet the over, right? Because you just saw BYU just put up 100 points yesterday. I don't know, man. Houston's a different beast, different type of defense as anybody else. Sign me up. I'm going to be playing the under here. I think, like I said, I think this could be one of those games that's just really tough to watch unless you really like gritty style basketball. This would be the type of game I think you'd want to watch.
It's funny. My first question was going to be, so does BYU just still chuck a bunch of threes? And it seems like the answer is yes. And
yeah.
Like
you could bet the over attempts. I would definitely do that.
And you got one of the best defenses in the country on the other side. This seems like a classic play from you of kind of like fading the recent narrative. Gets a little bump, people are hyped up. Like you said, they look at the box score. They go, these guys are killers, and then you face a tougher opponent that shuts you down and plays a little different style of basketball. So I like everything you were saying there. I'll definitely be tailing you on this one.
Yeah, first under on the show in a while here for me. So takes a lot to do it, but hey, we're there. So kick it over to you, Stu. We got play number 3, another under. Love to see it.
I was going to say it's under City right now. This is on DraftKings. It's down to 7.5 on FanDuel. I would not play it at 7.5. 8.5 is the key number, or any number with 2s is a key number for Edey because he's not going to take a 3 all year. He's going to be down there in the paint. And yeah, this was just one of those numbers where Jaren Jackson Jr. is questionable now to come back, right? And I see a lot of people on Edey over rebounds in this game. And their thought process for that is that they're going to need his size to match Cleveland's size, which in theory does make a lot of sense. In fact, someone who you're looking at right now had a similar thought process against John Collins and Walker Kessler last game against the Jazz, thinking, okay, obviously they're going to need to match that size. This is without Jaren Jackson Jr., by the way. This is with absolutely no depth. And still, he only played 20 minutes in that game. 8 points, 4 rebounds, couldn't get anything going. Looking back at this whole week, right? 20 minutes, 22 minutes, 23 minutes, 20 minutes. These are all games without Jaren Jackson Jr. where he failed to clear 8.5 points. Like he couldn't go over in more ideal matchups without his main competition. We don't know if Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to play, so that does have some effect on this number. If he's ruled out, I still don't really see this getting any higher than 9.5. I think it would probably just stay at 8.5 across the board. But obviously, if it did jump up to 9.5 without Jaren Jackson Jr., I still would be interested in playing it. When you talk about a guy that scores all of his points from second chance points, putbacks, or easy like rim running dunks, what is the nightmare matchup for a guy like that? What is the worst possible matchup? It's Cleveland. It's Jaren Jackson Jr. and Evan Mobley. They have 2 of the best rim protectors in the league. They're one of the best teams at limiting those second chance opportunities. Like, this is not a good matchup for Edey. And like I said, in fact, I think Utah's the budget version with the way they run their paint defense with Kessler down there and then Collins like roaming. Like they do it very similarly. And to see him struggle and not even get a minutes bump at all in that matchup was very telling of like, okay, well, how is he then going to come in a worse matchup where Jaren Jackson Jr. is now finally on the injury report and looking like he could be back in contention? Like this just does not seem like a good spot for Edey to go over whatsoever. And honestly, like I was saying, Memphis is not playing good ball right now. If even without Donovan Mitchell, if Jaren Jackson's ruled out in this one, I think Cleveland might smoke him in this game. Like, I would definitely be interested in betting Cleveland if Jaren Jackson Jr. is ruled out. So I just don't think this is a good scoring matchup whatsoever. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for Cleveland's defense and what they do. Without Donovan, they're going to get even slower, in my opinion, I think, which is not good for Memphis, which is a pace-up team. At times, this is going to be a little bit of a pace-down matchup. Overall, like, I'm just a big fan of the ED under right here. I don't think he has the minute ceiling necessary to get over this. And obviously there's some variance in play when you don't know Jaren Jackson Jr., but I feel pretty comfortable with him or without him at this number. But once again, if he does play, then that's just a huge added bonus. And then I think that number, could even get as low as like 6.5 or something like that. So yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of depth. If you watch Memphis, they play like 14 guys every single game. Brandon Clark finally had his first good game of the season last game. So maybe that'll carry over into something else. Of course, he has his first good game of the season when I bet fucking Edie. But yeah, I just think it's one of those matchups where I think it's a tough one. I don't think he's going to have a lot of success here, and I don't think he's going to play enough minutes to go over this matchup. So too many confounding factors to ignore. Double unders at a 1 p.m. is I don't know if I've ever done that on the show before. But hey, we're going to get locked and loaded. I feel very good about both these plays.
Love it. Love it. I'm gonna be heading to the first under of the show or the first over of the show. I used to saying the first under of the show.
Yep.
There's an over usually, but I'm going back, dude. I don't know why I'm getting this number, dude. They're giving me a really nice price, and I'm in for it, man. I'm in for it. I feel like when we start talking MAC basketball, right? Toledo's always fast. I tell you guys that every time, but Akron is not usually that fast. They used to have a guy with the last name Freeman on their team. And I backed them. I don't know if you watched my previews of the NCAA tournament last year. I loved Akron, dude, because they would just muck it up, and they had a big that could do pretty much whatever you needed them to do. Now they just run, dude. Now they're all guards. They shoot threes. They're fast. They are the fastest team in the MAC. That is not something I thought remotely would come up when I'm talking about Ohio, who plays extremely fast. We talk Toledo, who plays extremely fast. Eastern Michigan usually plays really fast. Akron is 12th in the country in pace. They are top 100 offense. Yes, they have a little bit better defense, but Toledo, man, they're not in there to just play around here. They're in there to absolutely chuck a bunch of threes, play fast, and pretty much let you do whatever you want on the offensive end, right? They are not going to be a team that's going to stifle you defensively. They never really have been under Kowalczyk. So I'm going to be a guy on the Toledo side. Yet again, I'm going to be going to that first half over. I feel like minus 113 is a very fair price at this number. If you want to look at like first half scoring numbers and all that, we can do that. But I also just want to look at Akron being very good against the three. They're good, a very good defense against the three. That doesn't really matter. Toledo doesn't shoot they don't shoot very well from three already. They are good slashers. They got mid-range games. I watch more Toledo basketball than anyone probably should, just because I have bets on them all the time. And not only that, but I also bet on them. And they're on ESPN Plus. So that's just another thing, because then I can watch all of their games, which obviously I love to see. Akron is 18th in the country in first half scoring, averaging 39 points per game in the first half, which is above Iowa, which is, if you guys have followed me, posted it yesterday. Iowa first half overs, those are wagon plays for me. Akron actually scores more than them, and I bet Iowa more than I probably should, because that team is absolutely dreadful. And then you go to Toledo, they're 84th in the country in first half scoring, and bottom 50 in terms of first half defenses, first half points allowed defensively against. So love me some Toledo Rockets, man. I'm gonna be playing this play over and over until they should give me a reason not to. So sign me up for Toledo. I'll be playing the first half over 76.5 at minus 113. Love the spot. Go Rockets and Zips tonight. Score some points.
Yeah, I got nothing but positive to say about Toledo. These guys, keep making me money. So if they want to run and shoot a bunch and play fast as hell against Akron, it sounds good to me. Like, it seems like the recipe. I used to joke that I watch more Wizards basketball than anyone that's not paid by the team. And I think you might be in that bucket for Toledo. Like, I think you might actually be, the number one Toledo analyst in the country. So if you're going to keep coming on here, and I feel like it's a common theme of like pace versus pace. So you want to take advantage of that. Both these two teams are willing to kind of run and gun. So let's bet some over. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I looked at also probably playing their Akron team total because that's definitely a spot. But they just went off almost 100 points last night. So I could see them trying to get up a little bit early. And, I feel like when people are tired, I feel like defense kind of goes first. And obviously jump shooting goes, as well. With you have a little tired legs. But I feel like defense is just as involved, right? Defensively losing your legs a little bit. So sign me up, man. I love Toledo. You guys know that. And I'm going to continue to ride the wagon. Let's get a quick recap here, Stu. I thought we did damn good. We did damn good there. 30 minutes on 4 plays, got in and out. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat before we get out of here. Let's get a recap in here.
Sounds good. Under number 1, we got Andre Drummond under 10.5 points, -120. Like I said, I do like the points plus assist pivot if it does get any juicier. But yeah, I love this spot right here. Then we got under number 2, Zach Edey under 8.5 points, -120. Like I said, 8.5 is the cutoff until we know Jaren Jackson news. So you can't. I wouldn't go any lower until we know that news, but feel very good about the 8.5 number.
Beautiful. I'll be on BYU team total under 64.5, facing off against Houston. And then I'm also going to be on the first half over of Toledo at 76.5, facing off against Akron in the MAC semis here. Anything else, Stu? Anything else from you before we get out of here?
Yeah, normally we like to chat some UFC. It happens to be the worst card of the year this week. I mean, I took a look at that. I have a couple bets, but it's like, that's nasty. I will say I'm repping the Michigan State right now. Got the jacket on. It's a little chilly over here, so I'm hoping that they can pull out that victory. That's probably what I'll go watch right after. Oh, they're doing good. They're doing real good right now. I saw it was like 46-43 a minute ago. Now they're okay. Hell yeah. So it looks like they've got that wrapped up. And then I'll probably be sweating some of your college basketball. It's that time of year. I got to start paying attention. We're right there. And yeah, I want to see some good basketball. So I got nothing to do today. So, hey, if you got bets, put them in the comments, honestly. Drop your college basketball in the comments. I'm already going to tail PPS. Like, why not? I'll add them to the queue. So, yeah, give me some bets. And yeah, make sure to go follow over on Instagram and Twitter. Obviously, I'm Monotone. Still don't remember. Probably Football. Monotone Football on Twitter. Actually, it's probably betting. That makes more sense. Monotone Betting over on Instagram. And yeah, I'll hopefully get some more winners out there. Probably be like 6:30 when I drop more plays. So I know it's not the most convenient for people, but I just got to tell you like it is. I think most of the time people posting like all these plays at 4 and blah, blah, blah. You're seeing them face the consequences, unless you feel really good about a couple spots. I think you kind of got to be playing most things close to lock. So make sure you're following over there. And yeah, hopefully we can keep this streak alive, right? I mean, back-to-back sweeps to start the week. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'm curious what they're going to open it at with Michigan State tomorrow. They're going to have either Purdue or Michigan. I think I'm fading them no matter what the line is, just because.
Even against Michigan sucks.
I mean, if you're a Michigan State fan, you're going to say that. It's just like me saying the Bears suck. So it's just like,
true.
It could be the best team. They could have won the Super Bowl. I tell you, the Bears fucking suck. No matter. But also, Michigan State doesn't shoot threes. They're fucking terrible at shooting threes, and they're shooting 50% today. Fuck yeah, that's a fade, bro. I'm fading the hell out of them, whoever they're playing tomorrow. Unless it just depends on Purdue. It depends how good they look tonight. Because if it's Michigan, hell yeah, I'm going to be playing the Michigan side. But Purdue God, they're fucking leaky defensively, man. That defense is horrendous. But yeah, I don't expect this shooting to continue because they do not shoot well. And now they're 6 for 12. So, yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of games. I did post a couple other ones for tonight over on Action. I'm kind of pissed because I played my St. Bonaventures under this morning. Team total was my first play at like fucking 9:30, and then I realized, oh shit, they play at 10:30. I was gonna post it on Action, and I realized, oh fuck, it doesn't play at 11. They're playing at 10:30, so didn't get to post that one out for everybody. But I'm gonna try and put a little bit more out. I think I have 2 other plays already over there, so make sure you guys follow over there. They're doing a couple new updates too, which is pretty cool. So you guys can just easier to navigate over there. Anything else, Stu, before we're out of here? Or else we got a ton of stuff going for the weekend.
No, yeah, shout out VCU. I mean, I have some friends that went there. I think they were pretty happy with that win. I looked at it, I was like, oh, wow, I thought the Bonnies would win. I thought they were good, but I don't know anything. So, yeah, excited for March, excited to keep following the plays. And, yeah, leave a like if you haven't already and drop some college basketball. I want to tell your plays. So, appreciate it and see you guys on Monday.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. We still got 20 of you guys in here. On your way out, hit that like button if you could. We'll be ready to go for you guys on Monday again, ready to get it back after it. So have a good one, guys, and best of luck tonight.